Anthony with A&A, bringing you another business tip. Today is December the 31st, 2016. Tomorrow will be January the 1st, 2017. A lot of you guys have your New Year's resolutions, and one of them is I'm going to start my business. 2017 is the year for me to start my business. Okay. Well, let me tell you the things that you're going to need from my experience. Now, when I first started, I remember me and my wife talking, and she said, you should start, your lawn care business because I had neighbors walking by my yard and was, complimenting me and my wife on how good the yard looks. My wife was like, you should start a lawn care service, and it was something that I always wanted to do, but I always find a way to talk myself out of doing it. And first thing I told my wife, I was like, well, I don't have all the equipment, and it's very competitive. Everywhere I go, I see lawn care services, and most people, they already got somebody doing their yard, or they do it themselves. I was just coming up with a whole bunch of reasons. She was like, well, it's a lot of yards that, you don't know until you go out there and try. And it's those lawn services, they can't cut all the yards in this area. I mean, it's like over, 4,000 homes in this area alone. And she was like, they can't do them all. And I'm thinking to myself, what, you right. And then she was like, as far as the equipment, just use the stuff you got. Like, it's work. You do your yard with it. Why can't you do someone else's yard with it? And I'm like, what, you right. So I went to Vistaprint and I got me some flyers and I got me some business cards and stuff. And I got me some little door magnets for my truck. And that's, and I got started. I passed out my flyers. I didn't have no walk behinds. I didn't have no big commercial zero turns. I didn't have no steel equipment. All I had was 2 Craftsman push lawnmowers. One of them was self-propelled. One of them was just a push. I had 2 of those, and I had 2 Craftsman weed eaters and a Ryobi blower that I got from Home Depot. So I just started with that, and first thing I had, 1 client. Then I went from 1 client to 5, and then I went from 5 to 10, and I was still doing it with push mowers. And I had some I think I had some Ryobi hedge trimmers. I don't know if they were, I know they was from Home Depot. They might not have been Ryobi. I'm not sure what they were, but they didn't last. And trust me, that equipment was only for residential use, for somebody that's going to be using it maybe once a week, not 10 times a week. And but it lasted me long enough to get better equipment. And as my clientele start to grow, as the business start to grow, I start buying better equipment. But and you're gonna be surprised how fast your business grow in no time. Because I want to say like a year, less than a year, I got my first not my zero turn. I got my first walk behind. It was a Skag 48 inch. I still have it. I bought it used. It lasted for about 2 years, and then the motor went out. And by that time, I had made enough money to get the X Mark that y'all see me working on. But I will be putting that Skag in the shop soon to get it done, because I do need a backup more. But that's all you need. Most of the stuff that you need to get started, you have it at the house. Go get your blower, whatever you have. Get your weed eater. Get your push lawnmower, your self-propelled lawnmower, and go ahead and get started. And some of you guys got good mowers. Some of y'all got the Briggs and Stratton engines. Some of you guys have, Honda engines on y'all motors. Those things will last. I know a guy that uses that's all he uses is a Honda self-propelled mower. That's all he uses. He has two of them, and he's been doing it for about 6 years, and he has more clients than me, and he's on a push mower. I mean, yeah, he's using a self-propelled mower. And so, like I said, you do not need all this special equipment. I know a lot of you guys say, well, I'm going to wait until the new year. I'm going to wait till I get my tax return, and I'm going to buy this, this. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, by all means, go ahead and do it. But you don't need it. You can start with less and grow your business. Because, first, and another thing, how do you know you would like doing it? Because a lot of people get into it and then realize they don't like it. Now they got all this equipment they got to get rid of. So take that into consideration. As far as mobile car washing, the same thing. Okay. Now a lot of people don't have car detailing equipment just laying around their house. So you're gonna have to spend a little money. But I spent under $600. I got my water tank for $90. Now that water tank is going to be the hardest piece of equipment that you're going to be able to find. It's going to be really hard to find that piece of equipment. It's going to be kind of hard to find a water tank. That's the biggest issue. You go on these websites, they got these water tanks, and some of them, maybe $200, $100, $300, but then the freight is what's gonna kill you. So I recommend going to like pest control places. Pest control. They need water tanks to put their chemicals and stuff in when they spray in these homes, and that's a good place to go find. They may have some laying around. They can order you some, and you don't have to pay the ship freight. You don't have to pay the freight because they get them shipped to them all the time. That's a good place to go. For all you guys that live in these southern states and these midwestern states, those water tanks, some of them use them for. Sometimes they had like Coke syrup in them or sodas in them, and once they empty the containers out, they just discard them, and you'll find them all over the place. Just keep your eyes open when you're on these backcountry roads. Keep your eyes open. They have it everywhere. Some people, they cut the tops out of them and use them for trash cans. So just keep your eyes open. You can see one laying on the road, or go to Craigslist or Facebook yard sales. I see them all the time. I've seen a Facebook yard sale in my area. Guy had 5 of them. He was selling for $50. 275-gallon tank. Okay, but all right, now once you get past the tank, everything else is easy. You get your pressure washer. If you get one with a Honda engine, that is great. Briggs and Stratton, that's great. The places you can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Sears, places like that, Walmart, that sells, stuff like that. Just about any pressure washer to me does a great job. You don't need very high PSIs. Mine is the 2500 PSI. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on the car anyway, so you don't need something with a high PSI unless you want to do pressure washing as far as like, driveways and houses and stuff like that, but that's totally up to you. But after that, you want to get a generator. Now, I had got a Sportsman generator from Home Depot. It's the little green square generator, $100. Okay, and then I got my Rigid vacuum cleaner for about $120. There are many out there that Rigid does offer a cheaper one, but I got the one that had 6.5 horsepower. I wanted to get the highest horsepower I can get because, if I get in a filthy vehicle, I want the suction power. So that's about it. That's what I did. I got started. And then as far as like chemicals, I just use the chemicals that I use on my car, like, McGuire's. I know a guy, he loves 3D. 3D is more expensive, but you know, you can wait until you start getting more clientele to start purchasing stuff like that. But I started off with like McGuire's turtle wax. I mean, as long as you're not putting Dawn dish liquid on their cars, you should be fine. You know, if you already know how to wash a car, you already know what it takes. So you don't need all this fancy, smancy equipment and all this stuff and all these different chemicals. This does this, this does that. Man, that stuff starts getting confusing, and then you start like, man, do I know what I'm doing? It takes you out your comfort zone. So, you know, that's my tip for today. You know, is just go ahead and get started. You don't need all the Skags and X marks and steels and red max, and you don't need all this, you know, all these expensive equipment when you're starting off, because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know if the business is going to do good, and you don't know if you're going to enjoy it. You know, so why put all this money into this equipment and then you realize that, okay, this is not what I want to do now. You got to try to get rid of all this equipment. So that's all I got for you guys. Y'all be safe and Happy New Year. And P.S. You got to do what you got to do to get the stuff done. You know, stop worrying about how things look, or you know, how, you know, what type of equipment that you have, and you know, how people are going to view you because you don't have all this, you know, professional commercial equipment. I want y'all to take a quick look at this video, because this is the type of mentality you should have.
All right, give me the scoop, man. Give me your story. How did you come up with this? What happened?
Well, I like cutting grass, and then I have yards that's way too far, right? So I don't like walking or pushing the lawnmower, the weed whacker, all that blower stuff. So my parents, I saved up enough money to buy this bike right here.
Okay.
And I bought a couple of pieces of wood. Okay. And that's how I got the trailer, the hitch.
You did this by yourself, huh?
Yes, sir. And I got the crate on the front with the gas cans. I got the lawnmower, the weed whacker, and the blower.
This is amazing, man. This is a true entrepreneur.
It's my business card.
Business card. Check him out. Check him out. What you got the Instagram? You don't know it. You Snapchat? Not. Get your Instagram back together so you can, you know, generate more business. But this is definitely a businessman in the making. This is got his little brother with him. What's up, man? And you definitely is a true entrepreneur. I talk about you.